as well as money. Well, after a slow start, fundraising is gathering momentum. In fact, it's gathering rhythm and music as well. The rock stars who launched Band-Aid decades ago are getting the bands back together, and they're bringing a new generation of performers into the mix. Well, we're joined by Jeremy Hassell, a host of GoGoMix.com, and our man on the scene where pop culture is concerned. Well, who's on board for this particular concert, Jeremy?
Well, what's great about this is Bob Geldof and Mid-Jury, the guys who did this 30 years ago in 1984, the same producers and songwriters got the stars then, they got the stars of today. And a few from the old, such as One Direction, Ed Sheeran, Emily Sandy, and of course they brought back my man Bono, and Seal's there as well, and a bunch of others like Rita Ora, and the list goes on and on.
Well, this seems like really exciting. I've got to ask, in terms of numbers here, how much money do they expect to raise?
Well, let's hope that the last one from 1984 raised over $8 million, just a single alone. And then, so let's hope that this year, I hope they get double or more.
Well, of course, the money is so sorely needed. And I just want to talk about the money, the economics of this. Of course, putting something like this together, a lot of people want to know, like they've always asked with the Red Cross and other organizations, exactly how much money of this actually goes towards the cause outside of, operational costs and stuff like this. What percentages are we talking about? Do you know?
Well, what's awesome is that when it goes on sale tomorrow morning, it's going right to Doctors Without Borders.
Wow.
So, and what they pretty much made Band-Aid as is kind of like a trickle-down facility, like to help other, like I'd say, a lot of, when they're trying to make money to help things like Ebola and world issues, they need to have help and infrastructure. And that's what Band-Aid is trying to fund a lot of those places, like Doctors Without Borders.
It's amazing, Jeremy, how, musicians get together, actors and celebrities get together raising money for causes. And you would think that perhaps they wouldn't have to do this, that governments would have the wherewithal and the money. You can put a few $1 billion behind some weapons over in, the Middle East or something like that, but you can't make the kind of money or bring up the kind of money for causes like this for Ebola. There seems to be a disconnect here.
There is, and I'm so glad you said that, because even yesterday while recording, all the press was there to see the celebrities and the hoopla, and when Bono showed up, the lead singer of U2, he looks at the press and he says, I wish I really wouldn't have to be here. With all the big, summits and meetings, hopefully in the future, this won't even have to happen.
What is the name of this song?
Oh, it's Do They Know It's Christmas?
Oh.
From 1984, the song that had, Bono and Wham and Boy George and all them singing it. They're redoing it again, but they've changed the lyrics and updated them, because now it's about Ebola, because then it was about eradicating famine in Ethiopia.
What does it take? I mean, it's been well documented that certain musicians get behind, causes. What does it take to get people involved with this? Is there a big urging? How do they outreach to musicians and bands?
Yeah, how do you make this happen? How do you get all these superstars from around? Well, first has to be a cause that really touches them, because they don't have to do it. It's not mandated. But when you get respectful people like a Bob Geldof, who helped raise over $150 million in the past for other, crises, artists got that call, like the One Directions, the Ed Sheerans of today, the Emily Sandys, they said yes, and Rita Ora.
Of course, because you've had Band-Aid and you have Live Aid. How many years are we talking about in Band-Aid raising money? How many years has this been so far?
It's been 30 years to the month.
That's amazing.
I know.
Amazing. Look, you talk about the money that's being raised, but I would have to assume you get celebrities on board like this. It's got to change the hearts and minds of those folk who admire these bands and say, hey, look, maybe there's something else we can do. So outside of the money, I would assume that the concerts, the music, the albums, it's raising a lot of awareness amongst people who perhaps may not have been so concerned about it in the past.
And that's one of my favorite parts of this whole project, is that the fan of One Direction, the biggest boy band out right now, might go, oh, wow, they did that song. Do they know it's Christmas? Then they spend their $1 to get it because they support the band. Then they find out more about Ebola and what Band-Aid really is about.
Okay, we understand exactly the importance of Ebola, its worldwide implications at this point, where it's contained in some parts of the world, but perhaps not in others. But outside of this, I've got to ask, out of all the Band-Aids, which one do you like the most, personally?
Well, the artists are saying that are recorded last night, it's coming out now. Well, I'm a huge Seal fan, so I'm always going to say Seal all the time.
You are the man.
I'll take it.
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
As well.
And I got to tell you, it's just so exciting to see the humanitarian effort that people are involved in. We were involved in so much death and destruction around the world to report on, that it's good to see this kind of stuff. And it's good to see you, Jeremy.
Same as you, Julian.
Okay. See you again.
All right.
And thank you for joining us for Arise Review. I'm Julian Phillips. Have a great and productive and wonderful, blessed week. Take care.